In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Heavenly Father, we thank you, and we praise you. We thank you for this wonderful day. We thank you for the safe travels. We thank you for family. We thank you for the gift of our lives. And we thank you for the gift of love. Especially today, the love that is made so evident between Kayleigh and Shawn. We ask you bless their wedding day, and their life. We ask you bless them with happiness, with lots of children. We ask that you bless them with patience in the difficult times, and to really embrace the wonderful moments that have come. We ask this all in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, and as we pray, bless us, O Lord, for these thy gifts which are about to receive from thy mouth through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Okay, hello, I am Kayleigh's sister, Valerie. We're maid of honor, and I just want to welcome Shawn to the family and say that you guys are perfect for each other, and that I hope to find the love that you guys have someday. And I'm going to pass it on to the matron of honor, Michaela.
Alright, well, I lived with Kayleigh for 3 years, so I know her very, very well. And I actually decided to write a long poem that you guys all have to listen to. So, are you ready? Also, my husband, Ben, stand up. That's Ben. He is known for talking during the speeches and making fun of them, so hopefully he doesn't do that during mine. So, all right, here we go. It's based off of the night before Christmas, so here we go. 'Twas the night of the wedding, Kayleigh's feeling excited. I look at their parents, they couldn't be more delighted. Shawn looks handsome, relaxed, and carefree. Getting Kayleigh as a wife, how lucky is he? Speaking of lucky, this is quite the gig. Matron of honor of a wedding party this big. I'm here to give a speech, but where should I start? How about with Dome College? That's my favorite part. If you're from Dome College, stand up. I've known the happy couple since they started at Dome, and 8 years later, my, have they grown. Although these two met at college, they never did date. Shawn was much too wild, so Kayleigh just had to wait. Actually, just a side note, Kayleigh had the biggest crush on Shawn the very first year, their freshman year. They met each other, they had all these Tiger Inn dates, and they played ping pong. And then all of a sudden, Shawn's like, "Oh my gosh, like, do you have a hair dryer?" And she's like, "Yeah, I do." And he's like, "Yeah, for this other girl." And so, he actually hates that stuff, so he's really mad at it too. Okay. Back to the boat, okay. When I first met Kayleigh, she was a year younger than me, a kind and confident freshman that joined my sorority. Kayleigh is smart, outgoing, gorgeous, and kind. She's the very, very best friend that a woman could find. I'll never forget our first party together. We walked to a frat house in the cold, stormy weather. I pulled out my Boone's Farm and shared it with you. You were down for a good time, that much I knew. Kayleigh, do you remember all the fun times we had? Functions on weekends and butler dances weren't bad. We'd sing inappropriate songs at the top of our lungs, so free and so loud, then security guard Corbin would bust up our crowd. The lessons we learned in PJB, I will cherish. Rest in peace, paralyzed couch, and the dumpster you'll perish. We'd sing inappropriate songs, so, I'm sorry. Okay, here we go. Okay. When we were at the quads at Eagle Suite B, that's where we would flirt with our husbands to be. Ben and I started dating while you and Shawn stayed just friends. But aren't we all glad that's not where this story ends? let's fast forward 2 years to the department we moved. That's when our friendship really improved. Crystal, Kelsey, and Julie were constantly there. We'd drink pickle shots while track lead would constantly blare. We'd spend hours getting ready to go to the rail. It's amazing that none of us would wind up in jail. We'd stuff our faces with canes, mac and cheese, pizza rolls. We may have got fatter, but our friendship was #goals. We rewatched The Office a billion times. We listened to Power Hours while drinking boxed wine. Shawn, I know she sounds great, but there's something you need to know. Kayleigh killed our pet fish. From too much food she would throw. That's right, she's a killer. Our poor Dwight is dead. I'll never get back the poor fish she overfed. But really, we found out I got a fish, and then all of a sudden we found out that Ben was feeding the fish every day, and Kayleigh was feeding the fish every day. And I came home one day, and all of this fish was like all in the bowl, and I'm like, what happened? She's like, I'm so sorry, I had to go to work. And there's just like all this, it came off. So she killed my fish. And then, all of a sudden, a year later, we had a pet guinea pig named Reuben. Rest in peace, Reuben. But R.I.P. Reuben. And it also died. So I'm not convinced that she also did not kill that. So we had some really great times, that much is true. And I promise you, Shawn, I'm close to getting to you. At the apartment, Kayleigh lived single and free. But when we moved to the duplex, she got a bit lonely, you see. She thought about getting back into the dating scene, but all the guys she talked to were too boring or mean. A good man like you, Shawn, is hard to find, but Shawn had always been at the back of Kayleigh's mind. Over the years, these two friends would constantly flirt, but neither could make the first move and risk getting hurt. So finally one day at a Husker party Shawn threw, my husband knew exactly what to do. Ben grabbed Shawn and Kayleigh and played matchmaker. He mentioned a date and demanded Shawn take her. 1 week later, Shawn took Kayleigh on the date of her life, and look at them now, husband and wife. They have been flirting for years, and finally they're actually together. So this is like amazing to see them together, so it's wonderful. Kayleigh, thanks for being the best at calming me down. Thanks for taking care of Einstein when we're out of town. Thanks for babysitting Lindley when we need a break. When it comes to best friends, you take the cake. I'm sorry I spent so much time reminiscing, but believe it or not, there's still so much I'm missing. We've shared some laughs and we've even shared some tears. It's time to raise our glasses. It's time to say, cheers!
Welcome, everyone. I'm Derek Brockmeyer, Shawn's older brother. And let me just say, it's a wonderful day and a beautiful day for a wedding. A beautiful bride, Kayleigh. A beautiful ceremony. But most importantly, Shawn, we have a beautiful crowd. A captive crowd that gets to listen to every word that I have to say. It's safe to say I've been waiting. How old are you? 22. I've been waiting 27 long, agonizing years for this speech right here. So Shawn, I ask you again. Are you ready? Thank you, Amy. Let's go back 2 years. Let's take a trip down memory lane. Where are we going?
Crap, am I supposed to hit a button?
There it is. Look at that little guy.
best days of our lives. Look at those chubby cheeks. The thick hair. I'll admit he was pretty cute. But let me be the first one to tell you, Shawn has a secret. And he was not always this cute. A secret that nobody else knows. This picture is worth 1,000 words. I don't need to say anything else. Shawn doesn't need to explain. That is what it is. Selfie pose. Shawn was a pioneer. He had the selfie pose down, dialed in, before anybody else even thought about it. Good job, Shawn. Shawn tells the story that he was coerced into these dresses, that his little bigger sisters forced him into these dresses. I know the truth, Shawn. Callan and Carmen would never do such a thing. Those two right there are completely innocent.
I think I saw some nail polish in those photos. Derek, you kind of happy to know that Shawn's fashion sense really didn't change.
That is amazing.
Didn't change at all from when he was growing up young to what he's in now. These are his high school days. It never really left him. For those that don't know me, I'm Nate Bruning. I grew up with Shawn since kindergarten. Played all the sports with him. Got into things like this with him. I know I kind of made sure I had a picture where I was kind of cropped out, so I made it good for me. But one thing that kind of was consistent for me and Shawn was baseball. You know, and Father Steve, I'm going to give a shout out to him. Pretty awesome to get to hear homily on baseball at the church. Hard to not be romantic about baseball. But, you know, outside of baseball, you know, it was always me and Shawn and either Ben or when Johnny and Anthony were still playing ball, we were always together. Shawn never really let me play catch with him. I had a tendency to throw the ball to the backstop quite a bit. He kind of got frustrated with me, but other than that, you know, we got along really well. Our friendship was galvanized with those days of playing. But outside of just playing ball, a lot of the stuff that I appreciated with Shawn was just getting to drive around, talk with him. You know, really not always about baseball. A lot of times it was rehashing. A lot of times it was what we saw on Tosh.0 or Comedy Central, really not appropriate. But you know, there's a time that we got to drive around recently, a little bit before him and Kayleigh got engaged. And typically, Shawn was the guy with the aux cord. He kind of has a gift for playing music. He likes to do that. It was kind of bizarre this time. He didn't play any music, nothing like that. We got to drive it around, and that night, both him and Kayleigh were back in West Point, and Kayleigh stayed back with the nieces, and Shawn just started by talking, man, Nate, you know, you can find a lot about your girl when how she interacts with family, how she interacts with your nieces. I could really tell he was very, very proud of the gal who he picked. So, you know, it turned out really good. You know, I knew we'd be prepared for a day like this ever since that night. So, it turned out really good. So, go ahead, Derek. There. I forgot to hit the clicker, but there's a past photo of us playing or taking pictures with baseball.
I'd like to step back here. That is a real picture, Shawn. Only you could pull a dress off hiking in the mountains. That's talent. But Shawn, in all seriousness, Shawn, in all seriousness, we do love you. We do. As your older brother, I feel I should give you some advice. Number one, Shawn, Kayleigh, marriage is not 50-50, as some people will say. That old adage is marriage is 50-50. It's 100-100. Shawn, you don't get a half-ass this one. Like all the baseball, that football thing in high school, and now you're golf game. You're either all in or nothing. You both have to be ready and willing to do what is right for each other 100% of the time. Secondly, for some reason, there's a negative connotation with marriage these days. In the world today, there's a lot of divorces, a lot of negativity, but do not let yourselves fall into that trap. This marriage is yours, and only yours. It's your life together, so make the most of it every single day. Don't let someone else's negativity about their own marriage dictate how you two lead yours. It's up to both of you together to make your life great.
And you know, I don't have a whole lot of advice for both of you, Shawn. I learned more from you guys as we go. You know, just how you talk and then treat people, Shawn, based, you know, you coaching ball, I think those kids are probably the luckiest kids there are. But as you as a couple, you know, evidenced by everyone here that's, you know, somewhat paying attention right now, they all love and support you here. The only advice I'm going to give you is raise your family, your future family, with the same moral compass and the same character that both of you have, and you'll have one hell of a family. You got to tell them.
There's nothing in here that says nothing to do with the speech. I just like to make Shawn nervous. Okay, Shawn. This is big. As your older brother, I have to tell you the secret to a long and happy marriage. This is going to be the most important thing you will ever hear. It's called the smile and nod. I will admit, this secret has gotten me through a few times just today. Shawn, you know those times when Kayleigh is saying or doing something that makes absolutely zero sense to you? And you're like, what the is she thinking? What is she doing? What is going on right now?
That's bad.
You know it'll happen. It will happen. Shawn, whatever you do, do not say what you want to say in that situation. You keep your mouth shut and smile and nod. Do it with me. Smile and nod. Shawn, there's one more key. You throw a yes, dear. At the end of this, you are golden every single time. Every time. So with that, Shawn, may your love be modern enough to survive these times, yet old-fashioned enough to last forever. To the new Mr. and Mrs. Shawn and Kayleigh Emanuel.
I need to defend
myself, there was multiple photoshopped pictures up there. Multiple. You did a job. But no, in all seriousness, Kayleigh and I, when we reflect on this day, it's been happening for multiple years. We knew it was coming. When we saw the weather, we did panic a little bit. We thought, will we have a crowd? Will people still come? And when we look out about it, it's an amazing crowd. It's amazing people, role models, people who have supported us all through the years, who we have loved throughout, and they have loved us back. And we truly couldn't do it without this crowd right here. So it means the world to us that you're here. I look at cousins, aunts and uncles, grandparents, parents, and siblings, of course. Siblings, of course, yeah. It truly love doesn't happen overnight. You know, God has to love us first, but we need to be shown love, and we couldn't be in a better position for family and friends to love us, and we have been so fortunate that all of you have helped lead us here today. So we have a few people that we'd specifically like to thank, and I know Kayleigh would like to say a few words. So thanks everybody for being here, and I really hope you have a great time. It's gonna be a blast. And let's get ready to get after it. So.
Okay. Yes. Thank you, everyone. Like Shawn said, we're just so humbled that all of you are here, supporting us and loving us. And we've talked multiple times, like, what's one of the most anticipated moments of our wedding day? And this is it right here, like looking out at all of the people that we love, literally in one room. Like, that will never happen again, and that is so cool. And it does not disappoint at all. So thank you so much for being here. But yes, I have specific people to thank. First of all, our wedding party. We have the most attractive, hottest, best wedding party in the world. Like, do we deserve these friends? I don't know. Do they deserve us? Thank you guys for everything. And also, you guys, I have a friend who flew here from Alaska to be here. Our wedding party traveled so great. Thank you so much for everything. And last but not least, we have to thank our parents. Shawn and I both have the kindest, most generous, most supportive parents in the world. They're so great. I love them so much, and I'm so happy that I have my parents, and now I have a carbon copy in Matt and Bonnie. They're so great. I'm so blessed and lucky. So thank you guys so much for all of your help and love and support and pulling off this party. They have worked their butts off. I have not done anything to do this. I have not made any decisions. My parents have done everything. So thank you, Matt and Bonnie, and Kevin and Laura. You guys are so great.
I have no prepared speech. Everybody was kind of saying, he's going to cry, he's going to cry. So what did they do? They give me the microphone after she started.
You got it.
Yes, I thought they talked too long too. So. Well, God had to bring both these two together because their faith, both of them, is huge. So I think we just need to give them a round of applause. Thanks everybody for coming. So if you don't get enough to eat or drink, or if you don't have any fun, I guess that's your fun.